Good morning. Yeah, I was looking at FTM. We talked about this yesterday. Um, it came all the way down into this old demand zone and then saw a nice shift in structure, not only on the 15-minute swing structure, but on the 4-hour internal structure. Now we return to origin after we refine that demand zone down and new demand has been created. So this actually looks really good. One of the better setups in crypto, in my opinion, right now. Uh, It's just right now with FOMC and everything, it's kind of finicky trying to play stuff. But I'm going to keep an eye on this one. Specifically, what I'd be looking for, um, probably return up into somewhere in this region up here. We're already kind of treading up into that territory. And then after that, you could maybe see this reversal down into this demand. And then from there, I mean, we look pretty good. I'd be targeting this high. But I'm not sure if I'm going to play it because of FOMC. It's usually a good rule of thumb to sit out super volatile news like that. Um, but I set alarms for it. It's something that to keep eyes on. Hopefully this setup just kind of does its own thing. Maybe pumps a little bit or um, does whatever FOMC does to the market, and then it can give us the time to get back into this position because um, it's not something you want to really rush into. There's a ton of news coming out this week as well. I'm sure you guys just saw Flo just posted. EGLD, sure. So you came down on the weekly. Kind of just do this from the top. You got this weekly break of structure right there. I put monthly on accident. So with that, now we have a new weekly high and weekly low where we're at right now. But we could mark these, but at the end of the day, it's nearly pointless with some of crypto just because the charts are so insane. So we know the weekly is bearish, daily is bearish as well. Our daily market structure is a little bit tighter. We're not so spread out. We can mark that. So now we got our daily high and low. Why is it doing that? We're getting really close down to this old demand zone. Actually, it seems like it had been tapped into here. Go back to that weekly. Actually, I would probably mark this as our demand zone and refine from there because that zone we had already been tapped into, so it's already been mitigated at that point. Then when I look over here, if I really want to refine this, where did the buying really start? I mean, you could say this zone down here is where we got our first, internal break of structure right here. But to me, this is much more of a high value zone because we got a break of swing structure, of daily swing structure with that. So it looks like we tapped into that zone. So now if we can start to see signs of a pullback, maybe we get a little bit more price structure develops. We get that internal break of structure in the daily. You could maybe start to look for some relief longs. Of course, they'd be counter trend, but that's how we use these changes of internal structure to determine when a pullback's beginning. Now, the daily or the 4-hour range is really wide, just like it's the same as the daily range. So, at this point, we can just take a fib and throw it on here and look for once price starts to show us signs of a reversal, maybe look for a return somewhere up above equilibrium in a premium, because the assumption here is that price is just going to come up here and mitigate maybe some of these supply zones and then just continue down and take out this weak low. So, when you're in longs, expect it to be choppy on the way up and don't, hold it to, a lot of people want to get in crypto down here and just hold it all the way. And there's no reason to do that. It's just, you're just gambling at that point. But, I mean, you are in the zone where I would look for a reversal. Have not got it yet. 4-hour has not got, you haven't got really any kind of breaks of internal structure. Yeah, with the 4-hour, you could be setting up to have something over here. And said 67.9 equal highs. I mean, 67.9. This up here, what you said, it was a 67.9. Hold on, let me go to crypto chat. Okay, so 67.9. I'm guessing you're talking about. I really don't see any equal highs of any interest here, to be honest with you. I mean, you might be able to find like something like I really don't know where you're looking, to be honest. Maybe on a 1-hour or a lower time frame. 67 point. Yeah, I mean, I don't see it. I don't think there's really any equal low time frames. Yeah, I mean, don't worry about that. Like that's not, something that you could worry about maybe is like okay, like there's equal highs up here, but this means nothing to us because we're in a totally different range. And we don't worry about that when we're nowhere near it. I'm sure there's equal highs all through up here. There's probably equal highs way higher. But actually maybe not with EGLD. But don't worry about that. What we want to focus on first and foremost is our structure, which is bearish on the month or the weekly, the daily, the 4-hour. 15-minute might be switching. We'll see. Yeah, 15 minutes. I mean, this is some ugly price action. I mean, really, your swing structure is still bearish. This was your swing. So you're still just playing within this range. So you're starting to show, signs of new demand creation. You're breaking internal structure, breaking more internal structure, but swept under these lows. I wouldn't pay this much mind yet, but you are in that zone where you could start to reverse. Price might start to do its thing, but I wouldn't pay it too much mind yet. XLI, or that was somebody else in chat. Yeah, I mean, I would just wait on this one. Really, the only chart that I've looked at that I'm interested in longs yet is Phantom, because you see you broke that bullish, or not bullish. You broke that 15-minute swing structure. You cleared out liquidity. You came back down. You respected this demand zone. You came into it, got an internal break of structure. That's showing signs of strength. The 4-hour broke this internal structure. See on EGLD, we failed to do that. So there's not really much sign of strength there for me. XLM. Weekly on this one's actually much better than most coins. Like as far as right here. Honestly, a much better looking chart than as far as like not bullish, but I'm not when I say it looks better, I don't mean it looks more bullish, but it looks less just like a fucking complete Ponzi scheme. There's actually structure to it. Weekly high and low. So now let's go to the daily. We know we're bearish on the weekly and bearish in the daily as well. It looks like, for me, we're gonna have the range here on the daily as the weekly because I don't use it for breaks of structure. It's the same area you broke structure there was on the daily as it was on the weekly. So we've got a pretty clear range on our high time frames. The supply zone up here, or right before everything fell off a cliff. That could be a point of interest if we start to reverse. 4 hour here hasn't switched or hasn't even broke structure down. There's a couple coins. ADA has done the same thing. You got a wick under it, but you did not get a closure. So let's see. I'll mark this as our. I don't need to mark. Actually, yeah, I might as well. That way I can kind of remember. One thing I will say though is when you start to see, the daily low, the weekly low, the 4 hour low, all that and this at the same level, that's when you start to see a lot of liquidity being engineered. Because as far as larger institutions look, that's a huge point of liquidity. Those if it's low on all the higher time frame swings. So here we've got our 4 hour high. It's a little tighter than everything else, but we're still bearish. Under this, without a closure, we're bearish. Now, if we break down and close under this level, then we're going to be, moving this high over to this area, which this is probably going to get taken. It's we're in a bearish market. The weekly's bearish, the daily's bearish, everything's bearish. So whenever we're looking at order flow, we expect price to come down here, make a lower high, take out the week low. Which, if you use wicks, it already did, but that's not enough for me. So go back and see if there's really any kind of interest where we're at, why we're not moving to the downside. Yeah, I wouldn't touch this for a while. I'd want like 8 cents where I'd be looking. That'd be where the next point of value I see. If anything, you could look to position yourself short. Once price starts to we could maybe see a move up to this area, fill all these inefficiencies, and you could look to go short. But I wouldn't touch this yet for longs or shorts. It's just in that indecisive area. The 15 minutes now bullish. Doesn't really seem like a very healthy trend in my opinion. You're not even coming down and mitigating. Maybe this week low will get taken. It could be inducement. After you fill this gap up here. But if we don't, then it's just like whenever we have everything's bearish and then you see the lower time frame switch bullish and you start to get this kind of price action where really this price should have came down here, had a nice healthy move and started to pump up and mitigate each demand zone as it started to create it. When you see that not happening, usually it's just a pump up to mitigate a higher time frame supply zone, and it's going to continue to the downside. So game plan with XLM for me would be wait for the 15 to switch bearish and short, or wait for the 15 to go up here and switch bearish and short. But I wouldn't look for any longs. The time of FOMC I think is 2 p.m. Eastern. I don't know if that guy's in here. I typed it in chat as well. Is it 2 or 230? Where is it? Yeah, it's at 2 p.m. There's a ton of news this week, like ton of shit. Somebody said SRM. SRM's weekly range is much better than most. Surprisingly, I was expecting this to be crazy, but you got this week. You got a weekly break of structure right there. You got your weekly high and low. I think this is really whenever you guys are, mapping out some TA on a coin. You always want to make sure you start from a crypto. I do the weekly. Forex is good to do the monthly, because what you're doing is you're developing that bias. Everybody's going to want to go long, but if you realize like, hey, we're bearish on all time frames, it might take you a little bit more. Might take you a little bit more to get into a trade. You might be a little bit more conservative with longs. So, start on your weekly, plot your weekly swing range, plot your weekly demand zones, see what you could come up with. And maybe if you see, say for instance, if you see on the weekly, this internal change of character when we break above like this, say this is because this is our internal high. So, price came down, it failed to make a new low right here. Then the price came up, pulled back, and it made a new low right there for the previous candle. So that's going to be your high. Say if you came up and broke this and then came back down and moved, that's when you can start to look for that weekly pullback up into a premium of this zone. Where are you going to go? Supply zones within a premium. But until then, we have no reason to think that. It's just everybody just wants to buy crypto right now because they think they're going to mess up by not buying it. So daily swing range is really the same for me. Or no, I could consider that a swing right here. That's enough for me. So this would be my daily high, daily low still the same. Move this over a little bit. So our daily range is kind of tightening up a little bit. Not as, crazy. To be fair though, we've already really pulled back. Or no, I wouldn't say that yet, because this Wix is kind of odd. So now we go to the 4 hour. 4 hour range is actually tightened up really nice. So when this starts to happen, this is where I get a little bit more. Okay, this coin might be starting to cool off a little bit, because when we look at our range, it wouldn't be insane for SRM to come up and break this. It wouldn't like whenever Bitcoin was range, when we had this was the range, it wasn't going up there. Well, not SRM, at least Bitcoin kind of did. But clear bearish order flow though. We had a break of structure there. Price came up, mitigated bearish break of structure. So nothing to get excited about, yet, but it's getting there.
Casper,
What's up?
what are you thinking about HNT?
Shit, I'll look at it in a second. I mean, SRM, I would plot this zone. Get that institutional candle. We're gonna refine this. Let me see. Now see this 4 hour. This is the kind of price action you want to see. We got that change of character, and we can use Wix for internal structure. Got that change of character, came back down, into this demand. Now all this can be refined, of course. You know, you wouldn't really be trading over hold on one second. Sorry, I had a text that was important from my kid. But so here really we could use, you know, this whole zone, I mean, theoretically, but you know, we're not going to get that good of a risk to reward if you are looking to trade this. And I'm going to go over GJ, that Forex play that we got in yesterday. And this is kind of the same logic, but we refined it down. So when we look here on the 4 hour, we've got that internal break of structure. So what this shows us is that new demand has been created. So after we get a 4 hour break of structure, or any break of structure, what do we expect? We're going to expect a pullback. You know, how do we determine that pullback is going to begin? Whenever the internal internal structure starts to shift character to a bullish, it's just where we see some bullish price action, that demand creation. So you know, you can wait for a double confirmation of this, because here now we have supply. So we see demand was introduced to the market to push price up. Now, I know this is a down candle, and theoretically you only use up candles for supply, but I know that there's supply in here because this is where the selling started. There was displacement after it. We're going to go on a 15-minute and refine all this. But one could wait for this to say for confirmation. You know, that'd be a more conservative approach. Hold on. Got to mark these so they'll show up. So now that we come in here, we can say, okay, where is the demand within this area? This is not the prettiest price action. Is this the insight? No. I guess you could just mark this last down candle. It seems like that's what hit. It didn't really tap into it. It's close. I mean, the SRM kind of is a shit coin, so I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't really respect some of this. But yeah, also, again, with the same logic I was saying about that one down candle, you can use these institutional candles, which are the last candle before displacement, as a supply zone, because we know, you know, on a lower time frame there was demand in there. Now, I would have liked this zone as well, and like if we would have been looking back here, I would have watched for this zone because it was a flip zone. But you know, we could say demand was introduced somewhere in this region, and then now we have this supply up here. So it took this supply to push us down. So when we look for the areas of interest, we want to look for, like, where did the selling really begin? You always want to just don't overthink it. You know, I would look right here because we have that inside bar, part of that low time frame distribution. Price came up, kind of just sat there for a minute, and then started to push down. So we know that supply entered the market there. Now, if you could get a break above this, we could look back down, you know, on the 4 hour for wherever the demand was created. And that's how you can try to trade counter trend and be a little bit more conservative. Because once we get that break above that, we can say, oh, okay, well, demand's in control of the market. The buyers have stepped in. You know, supply is being violated. We're making internal highs, higher highs and higher lows, and we're due for that 4 hour pullback. Okay, well, where are we due for it, or due to go? We mark this up, go maybe on a 1 hour or 15-minute, and find areas of supply. You know, if it were me, I'd probably say this candle right there, because it's the last candle before displacement, before our fair value gap. Also, there was displacement until he broke structure here. So I'd like that zone. And, you know, say if you waited for price to break up here, come back down into maybe this 1 hour order block or this institutional candle, wait for confirmation the 15-minute, just how we use the 4 hour, that internal structure break as confirmation to show that new demand's being created at that level. And then you can go get into some longs. But, you know, I think it's important to be a little bit more conservative with buys whenever you're bearish on all time frames. It's not to say they can't be done, but they should be done correctly. HNT. I got you, Granny. Good old HNT. Honestly, this looks like it's going down. You might get a pump up first, but if I was looking at this, I'd be targeting this low right here. We'll go to the weekly and stuff. I just wanted to look at the 4-hour range, but yeah, it doesn't look good. So weekly price is bearish. Our range is ridiculous. Top of our range is 60 bucks. It's about pointless to do a draw, but next area of any demand I see would be like $4.46. Got that weekly fair value gap, weekly demand zone. So let's see. I mean, you did get a weekly change of character here though, and you did sweep out a lot of lows. So I mean, I don't really see demand over here. I'm sure there may have been something in this wick if I go into a lower time frame, but you did sweep this low, and you got that weekly change of character right here. Broke that, moved up pretty hard, but it seems to be respecting this demand as well. So on the weekly, it doesn't look terrible. We're definitely due for a weekly pullback. I think everything is, but I'm saying we're going up to premium. That's kind of a stretch in my opinion. I mean, theoretically, you'd look for something up here, but I don't think H&T is going to 40 bucks. But you could mark it up. See, I'll leave this up here. We also got some supply zones down here, but they're in a discount. So the daily swing range is bearish as well. It looks like it's going to be the same as the 4-hour. Got this institutional candle up here as well. Probably wouldn't even worry about that actually. The 4-hour though, when we go down to the 4-hour, let's mark this premium to discount. So this is what I mean. See, look with HNT what happened. So price came down, it got our break of structure. How did we know when that pullback was going to begin? Well, whenever we got this daily change of character. So we changed character to the upside. Came down to that demand, respected it, and now you'd be, but you already came into this premium. So theoretically, you're not due for much more. Given the current market structure, you're really not due to go any higher theoretically, because we already went into a premium and we saw sellers step back to the market pretty heavy at this 4-hour supply. So where I would look is somewhere up in this region for more sells. You'll probably go up here though, somewhere in this area. Maybe you could just draw this last candle right there, but I know if I refine it, we're going to be able to draw something a little bit more specific. I would just say this whole region right here. So you might get back above $10 briefly, but at that point, I'd look to sell because this is where you really had that that range failure, and that's where price really started to sell off. And you can see before that, all of the newly introduced supply was satisfied and respected. So we saw the market was clearly bearish at this point. The price moves down, internal break of structure, moves up to supply that sponsored it, moves down, break structure, and so on. But we see right here, we didn't do that. So that tells me there was a lot of selling here. It pushed price down really hard. We can see that too. That's where we got these big breaks of structure, 4 hours shifting character. It's very animated, big displacement in the market. So, at that point, you can really pinpoint these zones and figure out where the selling really began. And then we have that fair value gap. So, if anything, one would look to go short up there and target all of these lows down here and this weak low here. But yeah, go HNT, man. Poor HNT. Bro, kiwis are the shit, man. How many of you guys, raise of hands, eat kiwis with the skin?
No.
You have you ever done that?
Ever done what? I just joined.
No, I know. I eat kiwis with the skin on them.
Eat what with the skin on it?
Kiwis.
Kiwis?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's not bad, bro.
I would if I roasted the kiwi, like grill roasted, kind of like you do pineapple.
Mm-hmm.
I'd do it like that, but I would coat the kiwi skin. So I would make like a lemon salt or lime salt brine and dip them in that, so it caramelizes the brine on the skin, and then it should taste really good.
Yeah. See, Oscar said he's under the same impression. You have to like this. Like other people have told me I'm fucking crazy for that. Like so
No,
many people. BNX.
the market just rug pulled so many longs.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, go to the AMD chart. People were long on this, right? If you go to the like 5-minute chart, you'll see what I'm talking about. It looked good, and then out of
No, it
nowhere,
didn't.
yoink.
That liquidity right at that 10:30 a.m. I bet.
Yeah, I
Let's see.
literally had. I used this indicator, and we literally had. Oh my god! Emotional damage is going for the equal lows. Oof.
Trying to think with this.
I was expecting a bullish move today. Like I don't know what the fuck's
Yeah,
going on.
I think that we
But I'm
still might
expecting
get. I'm sitting on the
yes.
sidelines personally. I'm not gonna fuck with it today, but
Yeah, I haven't made a trade, but I was expecting this right here. Wait, what the fuck? Why isn't it showing a preview of my chart over here?
copy the chart image. That's what I do. You can
Yeah, there we
You
go.
can do Control Shift S. It just does it automatically. Somebody said BNX. I'm gonna look at BNX because we've actually been talking about BNX for a fucking minute, bro.
There. That's the chart. I was expecting ES to do that.
Yeah, I could see something like that.
Because there's a supply right there. I was expecting it to get a nice bearish reaction on supply and then start maybe trending back up. It is.
Wait, are you watching Cashucon? Am I like blind? Hold on. Oh, he's probably. I forget I'm on YouTube too. Okay, I'll do BNX. Okay, so during this whole move, we really didn't even see much downside. So it's showing strength. Everything's still bullish. Daily's still bullish. Weekly's still bullish. Actually, the weekly I don't think we have a swing structure. Sorry, daily's still bullish, and the 4 hours bullish. And price is just respecting demand. Like we had this massive move to the upside. Price came into that zone. This is what I look at more like orders are accumulating. I guess it's not white. Maybe this is Wyckoff accumulation. I don't really mess with that stuff. But I see lows being manipulated. Retail longs getting stopped out, and then new demand being created. As long as this holds, which I'd be weary of this just because of the state of everything. But everything it looks good. We do have a lot we could push down. Like we could sweep down and really push into some of these inside bar. I guarantee there's some demand here that never has been tapped, and you just see a big push down, clean out all this trend line liquidity that's starting to develop. Actually, that's not. It's like ugly trend line liquidity, but it's there. So I need to do some research on what this coin actually is. I'm gonna do that right now. I don't know why it goes to magic every time. Binary X. That's a fucking. Oh. I'd be careful with these fucking play to earn games, bro, because they can do some crazy shit against TA. Because, for instance, you know, say if something comes out in the game where they have to spend a lot of this currency, you know, it might make it pump. There might be a lot of this currency locked. You know, Chinese company. Yeah, I just be careful with the play to earn stuff. But the chart looks good, but that could be because, you know, for instance, I know that what was it, Farmers World token and also Alien Worlds token. There was like lockups on them, so they couldn't sell off, and they looked really strong, but in reality, they just literally couldn't be sold. But that being said, I mean, I wouldn't buy any equity in this. You could trade it if there's, you know, good setups here. Where I'd look for is price to come back down. I think I have an alert set actually. Yeah, price to come down, sweep these equal lows, fill this inefficiency, and respect this 15-minute demand. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad setup at all in my book, and you'd be able to target, you know, this high up here. That's what I'm waiting on currently. So if you can get a sweep of these lows, I mean, that gives me all the checks for my trade model. You know, we've created demand multiple times. Get a sweep of the lows, come back into this zone, and then you can target the weak high above. So that's kind of where I'm at. I guess I know that ManFX calls this the 3-box method.
The 3-box method.
This shit's so funny. I mean, it does hit.
I forgot
But
what it looked like. It was in yeah, he one of the videos that I watched when I was started, because you know I have all those videos in there. So one of the videos that I was watching, he's like, "Well, I can't call this what does ICT call it? It's the
AMD.
oh yeah, but he has a
Power of 3.
specific name for the power of 3. So he can't call it the power of 3 because in one of his videos, motherfucker got cited on YouTube for copyright infringement.
Does he have that shit trademarked?
Yeah. Like you can't mention anything like, okay, so if you start getting really popular with like smart money concepts and you start using terms that this motherfucker uses, you'll get a cease and desist letter from him. He
Bro,
said
he
it
ain't
plenty
playing
of
around.
times, even recently, because he has a lot of the stuff trademarked.
Yeah, he ain't playing around, bro.
So like,
You see what he said this
I don't
morning?
think he has the word order block, you know, trademarked, because that goes back to like a different, I forgot who made the order block theory. But that goes back way
I think
back.
he came up with it, like the way he uses it at least, because he
Yeah, the
says
way
he
he
did.
uses it, because he said that not every candle is an order block. That is true. But if you, I forgot who the fuck the guy is that I have it written in a book, because I was studying order block theory when I first started trading. Like it could have been him. I have no fucking clue. I don't remember, you know, because I just opened up one of my notebooks from 2015 and it has order block theory written in it, and it's like chapter 1 in my journal book. I was like, what the fuck? I was studying this back then? What the fuck?
That's just crazy. I got misordered
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
BNB so hard, bro. Look at that.
Mm.
So I get for refining. Look how it closed, bro. That shit is
Oh, I
true
shorted it from
pain.
the other one.
I've shorted BNB a couple times the last couple days, but
Yeah. I shorted it
I
from where
missed
you have your
this.
first channel.
I missed
Right
that.
there. I got lucky and I opened a short before it got into the channel, and I was just like, whatever, I'm just gonna hold because I don't know where it's gonna reject. Super wide stop loss, right? Because I have a lot of BNB, so I was just hedging my BNB like I do stocks.
Right.
And I caught that first leg down, and then when I saw that big boner candle, I was like, oh fuck. When it comes back down to this level, I gotta sell it to those equal lows. So I sold it on the one you missed all the way to the downside before it reversed again. That where it broke structured to the downside right there.
Where
I
the line
sold.
is.
Yeah, I got scared. I should have held it all the way down.
I've been in
I was like,
88 shorts,
shit.
bro. Just like this one, I
Chilling.
yeah. I mean, it's It's like 88 is one of the more bullish looking charts in crypto right now, in my opinion. The majors. I had these literally got break even. Like, look at this shit. I took my 25% at 4R, but then it literally came this close to my TP. Like that was a 15-minute target.
Oh,
Dude. But then it came up, started to show. I think it was a 4-hour supply
strength.
zone.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'm shorting this shit again, dog. So I shorted it again here, and then I took my 25% at 4R. And we'll see if because my 15-minute target's still the same. I like it though. I mean, I think this is more sell side now, so that's still my 15-minute target, and then my 4-hour target is going to be this 409. That's like because dude, look at 88. It hasn't even its 4-hour range hasn't even been violated.
Oh yeah.
That's why I'm like, bro, that shit's gonna get taken. But we'll see how FOMC does. I mean, I'm de-risked, so it's like whatever. But I want this shit to drown. It's crazy how like big the moves with ADA are. Like I marked this and I looked at my position, like just the percent. It's like this is up 50% on 10x right now. Does not look like much of a move at all. Like the whole move's like 20%. I'm just gonna take a look at some 15-minute charts for stuff. You know, AVAX. This is a super wide range, but I mean that would be your swing range. The 15-minute, I already know my high time frame bias with AVAX. Big bear on AVAX right now until like $13.
Oh.
Here, I mean, I'm gonna just watch some stuff, but this would be a nice short if we can come up here in the low time frame, start to break structure the downside. But this is another coin that I wanted to get in. I misordered on this one too. I think I deleted the thing. I literally did TA for someone on Twitter. I told him exactly. I was like, this is gonna come to this zone. I'm going to change a character, and then it did, and I just never seen an alert for it. And look at that shit, bro. I added the person. I was like, bro, I hope you didn't sleep on me. Straight fucking nosedive from $23. But yeah, I like this if we can come up here and start to reverse. I'm just not gonna trade on FOMC, or at least I'll trade after it, but not until it's done. Yeah, there's a ton of news just in general this week, dude. Like a ton of shit. All right, Bitcoin break structure the downside again. I haven't even looked at Bitcoin today. Yeah, I mean, this would be our new swing range for Bitcoin. You're kind of due to pull back a little more, but you did technically come into a premium. I mean, if you just reject from there, that's so bearish. Like if you just literally just barely tap up to equilibrium and reject, that just shows something's extremely still bearish. But I would look at this in this area right here. We've also got, or no, I think it looks like I got cleared out. Yeah, it did. Yeah, this shit is not looking good. But FOMC, what's the expected rate height? Is it 75 or?
Yep.
So I thought. What if?
But last week 75 was only a 4% chance. That's why the market started freaking the fuck out. Fed futures started railing.
Well, like we came out and said 150.
Fed futures.
He said 150.
Yeah, they're.
Bro, that'd be insane. That'd be so bad. He wouldn't do that though. Or they wouldn't do that. Good old ETH. Phantom's looking good for some longs soon. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm waiting. I think it was like weekly, or was it daily? I think I refined this zone from like a daily. There's this daily demand zone, this daily flip zone here. Price came into it. We got internal break of structure. Price returned to origin. Then you got a 15-minute break of swing structure. So now I'm like, damn, this does not look bad. But I'm gonna keep my eye on it. I've got an alert set. Somebody said, when Celsius getting licked? Honestly, I haven't kept up with that too much. Read more.
Yeah, people are gonna treat it like fucking Luna and try to buy to make money. It's just, I can see it already.
I remember whenever fucking USDT, I don't know if he's even in here anymore, but he bought Celsius at like 3 cents, like in like August 2020. That shit, he fucking made a bag off that shit. Let's go over this. I wanted to read this tweet that Playboy shared. Let's see. Cartoon. So this is what I was curious about, is who they're borrowing money from. That's the problem. Like if 3AC is borrowing a shitload of money, that's gonna fuck everything up. Last number was tagged at 18 billion.
Damn, I wanted to go fucking short on the market, well, long on the market to short, but it didn't give me the opportunity. It just started pulling back from this other supply level I had. Bruh.
Holy shit, liquid down 70%. Yeah, Starkware is gonna get fucked by this too. Yeah, this is basically saying that you know, 3 Arrows Capital going under, you know, is going to cause a butterfly effect of really bad, you know, just damage to big money within the market, because all of, you know, Celsius and BlockFi and everybody lent them money. So now, you know, they have the choice of basically, you know, taking the loss on what little assets or what little money's left from the assets that 3AC has, or continuously going under. Their balance. What this is saying, I don't want to say this dude's for sure or not. I always am careful with stuff on Twitter because I've read total threads about shit that's just complete bullshit. But
Who is this that posted it?
Playboy posted it in Archive. The guy who posted on Twitter is Degen Trading. Everything sounds legit, but like I've seen some like people posting it like ETH2, or just like
Look at
completely
the
wrong.
thing I tagged you. Well, I didn't tag you in it, but it's in Smart Money. I put up a guy named Paul Heeman. He called out TRX shorts right after the Luna incident, and he called out the Luna incident prior to that. He's the one that one of his group members got 68,000% on the short on Luna. He has a
Trying to find
Discord
it.
group. It's you just scroll up, go to crypto, and then just
I'm in
scroll up. It's
4X.
right above
That'd probably help.
Tens Wiener. It's right
Oh,
above
Tens
that.
is in here?
Yeah, Tens is in here.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Tens and Lucosis are probably some of the smartest people in the other group that have a non-denominal bias on things when they trade, because they know about macroeconomics. Because like some shit that some people say, it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Oh, the
bro.
Pablo Herman guy you said?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't find it. I thought I was looking for like a tweet.
Yeah, that dude right there, bro. Fucking nuts. nuts. Like once you go read his shit, like you just go through it, you'll be like, oh shit, okay, so this guy knows what he's talking about. He's
Right.
not talking bullshit. Like he breaks down why, not just saying, hey, I'm gonna short this, you know?
Right.
So he breaks everything down.
Yeah, I'll have to go check some of his shit out. Bitter coins.
He's hilarious.
It's funny.
Yeah, like see, there you go. He's been on Business Insider and shit from his analytics. Like that's one thing I can do. I can get articles written about us because I know people that work for Daily Mail, Forbes,
Yeah, you can get a lot of that shit, like the
Insider.
Yahoo, all that shit,
Yeah, like
online.
I know the people because I've gotten other people articles listed on. Let's see, I got one for Forbes. My friends, one of my best friends, his name's Alan. His cousin ended up on Forbes in 2015, 30 under 30.
Damn, hell
So I
yeah.
got an article written about him. Um, who else? I got a couple articles written about one of my boys that he's for the Daily Mail, so he can get verified on Facebook and Twitter. Uh, shit like that.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, the market's gonna pull back right here. Great. As soon as Tesla falls below that level, it's out. Oof. I told these motherfuckers to be careful at this level.
Yeah, I feel like usually too with FOMC days, even if we do end up pumping, usually you see the volatility of the downside first. I want us to dump, so my shorts print.
I'm watching the Euro USD come down to the next zone of supply. Sorry, the next zone of demand.
I do that all the time, get it backwards.
Yeah. And then GBP JPY is showing signs of weakness. It's putting in a retail head and shoulders.
Yeah, ETH looking rough. thought liquidity got breached too. London highs. Everything's getting wrecked right now. Everything formed this really wide swing range, like AVAX and Solana both did. This was nice price action here, though. I mean, once price came down here, at that internal structure break, but right after price shot back down into this demand, this last down candle, pressed right back up. This was like super tight price structure. I mean, most people wouldn't even have caught that. Came back, but right back into this demand, and off from there. Would have been a nice little scalp. It's 5 in the morning, though. I doubt most people were trading at that point, unless you're in London or Europe in general, not just London. I just say London because the London session.
Yeah, you saw what I wrote about the ECB?
Yeah, they're talking today, right?
Yeah, they're gonna definitely raise rates for sure.
Yeah, today. This week's interesting.
It's gonna affect it pretty hard.
Definitely gonna be an interesting week.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I was bearish on EU, because if they raise rates, they'll be bullish.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely bearish on EU.
Yeah. And then GBP, JPY, like bearish but bullish.
Same.
It's kind of weird.
Literally.
Because they have a lot of debt. I don't know if you know that. Like their debt to their debt to GDP ratio, they're the highest debt in the world. They have 259% over their GDP in debt versus America having 118% or something like that. I'll tell you the exact numbers in a second. I have it pulled up right here. Debt to GDP, Japan's 256.9%. America is, it gives us a nice thing to compare. The US is 133.3%. Our debt, the US, if you grab our total population, it would end up being that everybody in the US, kids, women and children, newborns, they owe 90K. They start off 90. That's what that's
insane.
equivalent to.
That shit's crazy. I'd like all this to get swept out. And if we can maintain this bullish structure, it'd be nice. I could even see. Idealistically, I wouldn't want GJ under this level over here. So far, so good, though, in my opinion. We came up clear these equal highs, and we ran above that, and we're getting closures above these levels. So with Forex, to me, that's a big deal. Crypto is just kind of weird, but whenever you get those kind of closures like that, that shows you that wasn't necessarily just a liquidity raid. We'll probably come down and remove the sell side.
I think we come down to that area you have highlighted down there and then pull up.
Yeah.
Blow through that order block right there. Or not the order block, the fair value gap.
Look at gold. Gold on FOMC can be very interesting. doesn't look good, in my opinion.
Yeah, the only reason I don't like playing gold is because those stops. Oh my god.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do for it not to be a
insane fucking position size.
insane
Like,
stop loss.
bro, watch some crazy shit happen. Like, just straight fly. That's the shit gold does in FOMC, bro. You'll like see something crazy like this, and it'll wick into this with like some volatility and then start flying. And you're really in a not too shabby POI right now. You're in a little flip zone. But I wouldn't be paying it too much mind with FOMC yet. What was this shit Glacier posted? I don't even know what I just watched. Yeah, so really moving forward into the day, I'm gonna be pretty just observant. I'll watch stuff. You know, it's always good to watch when you're not in much. I'm still in those ADA shorts, de-risked. So I really highly encourage you guys, if you're in positions before FOMC, just de-risk yourself. Like, you don't have to necessarily close them, but you know, if you're in gains, take some. If you're not, set stops to break even. Don't just like, you know, YOLO that kind of shit. It's just not a good habit to make. But yeah, I'm gonna hop off here. Like, not really much I'm gonna be doing with the FOMC, so there's no point in staying on. But if you guys have any questions, just at me, DM me, whatever you got to do to get through to me, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I appreciate all of you guys.